All right, now joining the show, I have on Florida State and Auburn football alum and Nichols College offensive line coach, Wilson Bell. Wilson, how are you, man?
Good, man. Good to be on.
I'm happy to get you on. You're up in my neck of the woods now, up in the New England area. So I think that's pretty awesome. How you liking Nichols?
I love it, man. Like growing up, what I'm saying? Like I was always coached by a bunch of different guys and like finally getting the chance to actually coach my own individual group of guys, man, it's been a pleasure. Those guys are always hungry, they're ready to learn. So it's been a breeze for me, man. I can't wait to get started and like I'm glad to be rolling now.
That's great. That's great. So did you also play a little bit with the Mass Pirates?
Yeah, I signed with those guys, but COVID kind of like canceled out the season. So I
Gotcha.
signed on and post COVID during that time. My O-line coach for the Pirates was Rob Burrell, and Rob Burrell was the O-line coach for Nichols.
Yep.
So he seen what type of player I was and the leadership that I had. And he was like, "Hey, I'm leaving Nichols. Do you want to take over the job?" So instead of like trying to like re-sign with the Pirates like post-COVID, I decided to take on the O-line coaching job.
Now, is Coach Oral, is he with the Pirates full time now? Because I know he was working both.
Yeah, from my understanding, yes, he is. Like, and I really think he's enjoying it. I think he likes working with the team and with the coaches. So he really is enjoying it. So
That's awesome. Now, you got was coaching always a thing that like even when you were playing Division One football, something you always knew you'd kind of fall into?
Um, not necessarily. Like I've always wanted to work on the administrative side of like athletics. That was like always been my thing. Like my overall goal is to become an athletic director. But
Okay.
coaching is something that like I think all athletes kind of fall into essentially like at some part of their lives. Because even if you're working at camp for the college you're playing for, or just going back home and teaching little tips and tricks to the guys from your high school, like coaching is just something that we do because like we learn so much, and with this vast amount of knowledge in our brain, we want to share it with everybody. So it's just something that you end up falling into, and it's just fun to see like you yourself giving somebody else the opportunity to learn what you've learned and see how it plays out in their lives and how much it changed their lives, because you don't get this information in high school. Like this
Yep.
information that I have from playing at Florida State, playing at Auburn, and playing at all these different levels of pro football. Like I didn't have this knowledge in high school, so I'm glad to share it and spread the wealth with everybody else.
That's awesome. Now, do you follow a guy like LaCharles Bentley? His findings, and because he's done a lot for I think the game, especially as an
Mhm.
offensive lineman. I follow him, and I think he's done wonders for the offense for lots of offensive linemen.
So my old line coach Herb Hand at Auburn University, he's a LaCharles Bentley fan. Like
Yep.
everything that we did, it was with LaCharles Bentley's like tools, like whether it was a sled that LaCharles Bentley had, the balls, the bands, everything that LaCharles Bentley did. So I worked with a lot of things that he's produced and that he's made. So I will say those the things that he made and everything, they're definitely like increases your ability as an offensive line and gives you the opportunity to get the motion, whether you're working alone by yourself or working with a group of guys. Like the stuff that he makes, I do think they are beneficial for offensive linemen. I think he has offensive lines figured out 100%.
This is especially a lot with the weight room too. I think he's figured out that because the two exercises you always see him doing are cleans and front squats. I think especially with all
Explosive
the power
motion,
coming out of that, yeah, he's got it down to a science. It's crazy what he does.
100%.
It's awesome.
100%. And that's why guys trust him. A lot of guys trust what he does, and a lot of guys I see that do come through, his neck of the woods turn out to be great offensive linemen.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jack Conklin's gone through there, Larry Warford. So he's had a good amount of guys that have been all pros and pro bowlers, which is pretty crazy.
100%.
That
100%.
gym just looks unreal. That whole
Yeah,
setup.
it's like O-line heaven. It's like
Yes.
O-line heaven. When I look it up on YouTube and different things, I'm like, yo, like he has mastered it. He got it figured out. And like I foresee people like emulating that template, like copying that template, like for their gyms, like when they're trying to be offensive linemen as well.
So you played at Florida State, the start of your college career. My dad and I were diehard Notre Dame fans, so we don't have a
Oh
ton of love
wow.
for Florida State. But
Yeah.
so what was your experience? What was the recruitment process like for you out of high school to getting to Florida State?
Yeah. So the summer going into my junior year of high school, well, summer going into my senior year,
Mhm.
I got my first D1 offer from Western Kentucky. Like freaked out, went crazy about it because it was like, at that time I was a 2-star athlete, like nobody, like kind of under the radar, didn't understand the system. And like one thing I do recommend for young offensive linemen is to go to camps. You got to go to camps, get your name out there because your mom might think you're great, your dad might think you're great, your coaches might think you're great, but if you don't go to camps and go against the best, then who are you? Honestly, that's what it comes down to. But I had a pretty good season. I had Chris Samuels come down. He coached me up. Played in the NFL for a while. He coached me up. I had a chance, and they came down. Man, they offered me a full scholarship, and that's what got the ball rolling. People started seeing that they offered me. And a lot of guys started me. So like every day at school, I probably get 3 coaches to come through, and then that night I get a call from freaking 24/7 arrival saying like, Wilson, how was your day? Like who came through? Like so it was. I can see why a lot of guys sometimes going to college with a big head. You know what I'm saying? Because they gas you up. They make you feel like you're the best player out there. So I do agree. I will say it was like a fun process, and it's nice to feel wanted, and it's nice to have your talents and your abilities acknowledged. So it was a crazy ride for me.
And then how did you? What was the thing that made Florida State feel very clear cut the place you wanted to play college football?
Wow. So I was committed to UCF for 3 months.
Wow.
I was committed for 3 months, and I was just taking all my visits at that point. I was like, well, I got 5, so I'm going to use all of them. Mm-hmm. And that was my second visit, I want to say, second visit at UAB. I was visiting UAB, just use my visit because, UAB is like, I'm from Alabama. Of course I got to visit UAB.
Yeah.
And that's when Jeremy Pruitt, old coach from Tennessee, he called me up. He was like, yeah, Wilson, like just checking in on you. I got the job at Florida State. Like, good for you, coach. He was like, I'm like, yo, I'm proud of you because, I knew Jeremy since high school.
Okay. I
was like, thanks, coach, man. I'm like, that's good. He's like, yeah, we're looking for offensive lineman. I'm like, oh, coach, I know plenty of people. I got you. Like, I hit some people up. You know what I'm saying? Not thinking he's going to offer this 2-star, 2-star guard or whatever, 3-star guard, whatever I was at that time. And he's like, no, like, we want to offer you a full ride. You know what I'm saying? Full ride scholarship. And I was like, whoa, mind blown. I was like, the Florida State University want to offer me. And during that time, I was telling everybody that was recruiting me, if Auburn offers me, I'm going. That's what I tell people all the time. Like, because, you're from Alabama, you came from Alabama. Like, Auburn, Alabama is where you want to go. Like,
absolutely.
But went to Florida State, man. Just the culture that they had when I went there, it was amazing. Like, the players were amazing. Just to see all that talent, just to see, like, the true college atmosphere coming from such a small town. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily small for me, but Florida State was, it's like a next level with all the kids and everything. I was just like, yeah, this could be home. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of beat Auburn to the punch for offering me a scholarship. And it was just like, I choose loyalty over everything. You know what I'm saying? Since they beat it, I was like, you know what? This is school for me. Like, I want to be around this type of program,
So Auburn did offer you after Florida State did?
Yes, they did. And I was at that point, because I was trying to get an offer from Gene Chizik. That's when Gene Chizik was there. Okay. And Gus Malzahn ended up going out. Gus Malzahn offered me at Arkansas State. And he ended up getting the job at Auburn. And when he got there, he was like, we want you to still come in and all those things. But at that point, I was just like, I've already told Florida State I'm coming. I'm locked in. And it was a toss-up between Florida State, Auburn, and Ole Miss, and UCF, obviously. But, I went with my heart, and I trusted, the people around me. Like, I feel like I got pretty solid advice. So, yeah.
It's pretty crazy to think about now. So you were committed to UCF. Malzahn was at Auburn, and now Malzahn's over at UCF now.
UCF.
It's pretty weird how it all works out.
That's crazy. Like, and that's football. That's like something that I've learned. I made mistakes in my past, but something I've learned as a collegiate athlete, as an athlete, period. Don't burn bridges. Don't burn bridges. Like, no matter how mad you get, no matter how upset you get, no matter what happens in your collegiate career, think before you act. Because the way sports work, you're going to run into that person again, some kind of way. That's just how it works out. Yeah. You're going to run into that person again. You might run into that player again. So my advice to any young athlete or any freshman collegiate athlete, like, try your hardest not to burn bridges. And that's what administrative staff, that's what coaching, that's what anybody, cafeteria workers, that's what anybody on campus, because you never know who's going to affect your future. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Completely agree. Now, do you have your BCS championship ring? Do you bring that everywhere you go?
Not everywhere. So I have a total of 10 rings, actually. But I don't bring it. That's the biggest one I have. It's actually in my office right now. But that's the biggest one I have, right? I can't bring it everywhere because, like, I don't want to come off as boastful at all. But, like, I am very, very much proud of it. I've won a lot of, like, bowl games, whatever. But, like, that's, like, one of the ones that I'm proud of because, like, that was a special team, and it's amazing being part of like one of the best Florida State teams ever that I ever touched the field. So, yeah.
How did it feel that you guys beat Auburn to win that? Like, that must have been the ultimate, like, just ultimate, I don't know, like double-edged sword for you at that time.
100%. 100%. It was like everything always comes, like I said, comes back full circle. So you're kind of just sitting there, your bus ride and everything. It's unreal until you're on the field. So you actually like warming up, you're getting ready for the game. And just to know, like, the whole time in your mind, like, I hope I made the right decision. Like, you're just thinking that, like, I do not want to leave. And like the coach would be like, well, we told you to come here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad it all worked out, because that was that miracle season. That was that miracle season. So it was almost expected for them to win, because like how God kept pulling them out of different things. So,
that was one of the best, I think, in the past few years, because I think with college football, it's become it's Alabama, Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State. It's three teams that are making it. I miss where it was. There were 4 teams or 5 or even 6 teams in the mix.
Fight for the top.
Competitive national championship. And you guys, I believe that was the Cam Newton year, Cam versus Jameis.
No, that was Nick Marshall.
Okay.
That was Nick Marshall, and he had I can't remember the running back that was in the backfield that year. They were like a duo.
Was it Trey Mason?
Trey Mason. They monsters, and they had they just had a solid front, man. Like, oh my God, like Auburn was stacked that year. They were stacked that year. So, and we were stacked too. Like I think what makes a team a great team, from my experience, is having a leader at every position. And that's something that Florida State had. We had a leader on the D-line, and Timmy Jernigan, Eddie Goldman, those guys, Mario Edwards. We had a leader at linebacker, and Telvin Smith, you know what I'm saying? We had a leader at freaking DBs, you know what I'm saying? And LaMarcus Joyner, freaking sometime Jalen Ramsey, you know what I'm saying? We had Jameis at QB. We had freaking Devontae Freeman at running back. Offensive line was stacked. Like, we had leaders at every position. It's kind of hard for one group to let the other group down, because we had a leader pushing us. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I
think that's what truly makes a great team, and we had that. So even though Auburn did like stack us initially, the leadership showed towards the end of the game. So
you just named a whole hell of a lot of NFL players right there, guys.
100%, 100%
dominant in the league too. Not just guys that are career backups. These guys are starters and are making all pro teams. It's crazy.
100%. And like I said, it showed that day in the BCS championship. Mm-hmm. Those guys they were natural leaders, and and they're leading the team that they're on now. Like, even though they're spread out now, like, I was around that collective group, you know what I'm saying? And I try to bring that culture to any team that I go to, I play for, or I coach. So
now, as a guy from Alabama, what team do you root for in the NFL?
I don't necessarily root for a team per se. I've always rooted for groups, you know. So I'm more of a group guy, because like it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch college football or pro football now, because I'm so trained to look at it like film. You know what I'm saying? Every time I'm watching it, I'm not really paying attention, because most people that watch football, they follow the ball. That's their experience with football. Like, wherever the ball goes, that's where my eyes are going. I'm looking at the offensive lineman steps. I'm looking at how the right guard steps. I'm looking at how the center steps. I'm looking at the twist that the DNs and the tackle is making. Like, I'm so keen on the offensive line, and seeing how they do it, how they maneuver. I'm like, oh, he did that. Oh, this is how he got beat. He shouldn't have reached, shouldn't have launched. Like, I haven't got to the point where I can just relax, grab a beer, and enjoy football yet. Like, hopefully one day it comes, but right now it's like every time I watch it, my eyes are glued to the offensive line right now. So, but like, it's a few groups that I do say like, hey, like, they got it figured out as a group. You know what I'm saying? So
do you think that might be a little bit of a curse, where you can't just, like you said, sit back and relax and enjoy a game, where you're just always, you got the gears turning at every point during the game?
You know, even though I'm out of the game now, I think eventually it might come to where I can actually enjoy it, but I don't think now, because like, it's still in the back of my mind that if it was time to go, I can go right now. And like, I don't know what it is about it, but like, my heart still races when I see it, or when I talk about it. Like, I still get that feeling like, okay, be ready, it's about to come. And I'll start sweating and everything. Like, my body is gearing up for a game. So I think when that emotion goes away, maybe a year from now, 2 years from now, that's when I'll be like, okay, I'll just follow the ball. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome. That's that feeling, that those butterflies. That's the best feeling to get.
100%. That's what you need as an athlete. If you don't have that, and this is my honest God truth. My O-line coaches say this all the time. The day that you don't get butterflies before a game is the
Yep.
day you don't love it anymore.
I've
You know what I'm
heard.
saying? No matter how skilled, how trained you think you are, if you don't like my first snap every play, no matter if I knew that team, no matter how much I watched film, I couldn't feel my feet. I was so light because it's like all the fans are screaming, and then once after that first play, everything deafens. Like, okay, now I can lock in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's so. If you had to, now you're not a team guy. If you had to root for, like, who's a player you root for, maybe game in, game out? Is it your Florida State guys that you played with at Florida State, guys you played with at Auburn, or are there certain guys you just love to watch?
I really like dominant offensive linemen. I really enjoy dominant offensive linemen, like guys like like I was actually this question a couple of days ago, but like I was saying, like I like watching like old Marshall and Yonder tapes. You know what I'm saying? I like watching like freaking Joe
Tom?
what's his name? Joe Tom. I like watching his tape. Like I like watching technicians, like those guys who were, they might be athletic, but like they're not as athletic as like the guys with natural talent. Because I view myself as that. Like my overall was like I was a mauler. That was my thing. That I was known for that. So I wasn't necessarily the most athletic guy, but like if I use technique and I got my hands on you, it was lights out. You get what I'm saying? So that was like my vibe. So I like looking towards those guys who just like like the Quentin Nelson's like.
Yep.
Dom, he's a very athletic guy, but like if you actually watch him play, he's a technician to the T, low, hitting like when he's double teaming and pushing guys out of gap, he's attacking the hip. Like just technicians, like you don't necessarily be as strong as the guy you're going against, but your technique is beating them every snap. Like so, I like watching guys like that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's crazy with now the game has gone, I think, a lot, especially even like from 5 years ago. It's gone from guys that were bigger and bulkier that would just maul you in the trenches to it's all down to a science where if you're a tackle, pretty much you're calculating what angles you have to actually take on a step to cut off a defensive end or
100%.
guard pulling. And it's guys have become more athletic to that too with how athletic D linemen and linebackers are getting. It's just the game keeps evolving. And I think the offensive linemen now are a lot of them are right there competing with the D linemen that should be more athletic than them.
Exactly. Well, offensive linemen for sure. Like we're getting a better understanding of our body, getting a better understanding of angles because for a long time we thought we had to chase a guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We realized like, this is what I teach my guys. It's not about how fast you are. It's about how quick you can beat a guy to an ankle. You know what I'm saying? For my tackles, like you kicking 45, there's a certain point you want to kick to because that's when the battle's going to happen. Certain point you want to open up because you give them a two-way go. Like once this started clicking that like it's about angles, we can beat any guy that can run a 4.4. And now you got offensive linemen out there running 4.7, 4.8s.
It's crazy.
These guys don't know where to go. They don't know what to do now. Like we're getting more and more athletic, and it's happening with guys that's 320 pounds, 330 pounds. So now you truly and like because they measure like the pressure O line D line, they're like two trucks hitting.
Yeah.
So now you got a Mack truck coming at you full speed on the pull. You got a Mack truck coming at you full speed on a freaking on a draw play or a screen play. It's just it's crazy now, and that's the beauty of offensive line. We might not get the glory and all and the clout and everything, but the people on the team and the people that understand football understand like this position is like what the real athletes are. Not taking anything away from the skill players, but like it's not a natural position to learn. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Everything you do is a learned behavior. Your body doesn't want to squat down in that position and receive blows. Like, your body doesn't want that. You know what I'm saying? So it's all trained, so you have to refine your tools and like do everything you can to like become a technician because that's overall what's going to help you prevail.
Now with the draft coming up, who do you think who do you think the best offensive line prospect coming out is? Because there's been a lot of guys that have knocked Sewell because I think they saw Rashawn Slater play and that definitely boosted his draft stock. The Big Ten had a season. And Sewell not playing maybe knocked him because I still think he's the best lineman, but also the best player in this year's draft. There's not going to be a guy like him in a couple more drafts. He's unreal. what Quentin Nelson was in his draft, I think.
Wow. So this is where you this is where you get me there, because like I'm at the point now, as far as college football goes, I haven't even like COVID has kind of messed up my whole viewing process of college football. Like, because you never who you really watch and really know who you're watching. And like, like I watched a lot of Alabama football because of freaking Landon Dickerson was on the offensive line, and that's the guy I played with. So I think I was more like centered around just like the idea of like I knew it was on TV, but I couldn't really like focus in on it. So right now, it's still a toss up for me as well. Like as far as like who's gonna go where or what guys were the best. Like I think because I'm a coach now, it gives me opportunity like to get more engaged this coming up season. So hopefully I can give you a better answer next year.
I appreciate that. Talking about Landon Dickerson, it was definitely a bummer seeing him go down with the knee injury right before pretty much the biggest games of his career. That sucks to see, but I think it was awesome. They brought him out. He got to do the last center quarterback exchange in the national championship. That was awesome.
Yeah.
He seems like a guy that's kind of a born leader also. I mean, he was a captain at the Senior Bowl. He wasn't even playing in the game, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, so my history with Landon, because Landon started at Florida State.
Yeah.
That was so my history with Landon. We had our season opener was against Ole Miss.
Okay.
Season up against Ole Miss, and like I went down the last play, like the last drive. I went down. I freaking messed up my ankle. Like it was like obviously, of course, the last drive I go down, and that's when Landon got a shot, and like that was my opportunity of seeing like, yo, this kid is a dominant offensive lineman. He was a little quirky, a little bit, a little high sprung. Like this guy was like, he knew he was great. I'll just say that. He knew he was great. And injuries has always plagued him a little bit, but like as far as like when he is on the field, he's just a dominant guy, man. And you can't take it away from him. I'm gonna be honest with you, you can't really take it away from him. He's just a dominant guy. Like I think any team would be lucky to have him. I hope and pray like the injuries don't keep plaguing him, because that's something he struggled with at Florida State as well. So any team that did, I think he did get drafted like maybe 17 or something like that. Well, coming up, he's like up for that. But I like playing with the guy. Once he humbled up a little bit, I realized, okay, this guy can be like a born leader, like you said. Like this guy, he was a natural. He's just a natural offensive lineman, and it showed every game he played.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, going back a little bit, what was the thought process when you transferred from Florida State to Auburn?
So I knew I needed to go somewhere. My mindset initially was like, I need to go somewhere where I'm gonna play. That was my mindset, because like I feel like my stock was like high enough. Leaving Florida State, I might have should have like committed. I might have should have went to the NFL after Florida State. I probably had a better shot, but I just wanted to play. But then I was getting ready to commit to FAU. That was gonna be like my last school I was gonna go to. I feel like they had a good thing going, had a good following, and I feel like I can get like enough clout from there to finish out my collegiate resume. But Gus Malzahn, like, give us a shot. Come give us a shot. I've always wanted you to give us a shot, whatever. And that's what I ended up doing. I went down there. I was like, I'm not going to take this guy seriously. Like, I'll go if you want me to go. I wasn't really like thinking about it. And he's just like, I like that he's a God-fearing man. He seemed pretty honest, and he was just like, we always wanted you here. And like, this is your school you always wanted to go to. And you finally get a chance, and I'm giving it to you. And it's just like, it's hard to say no to that, Yeah. And I was kind of like, I called all the other schools that were reaching out to me, like West Virginia and all these other schools. And I was like, listen, like, I'm going to Auburn. It is what it is. Like, and I got a chance to be around a lot of good friends from high school and everything. So it was amazing. Like, so it was like a win-win, honestly. Like, and I enjoyed I might not have got as much playing time, but I enjoyed every minute of just being around that team and that winning environment. Because at Florida State, like, the vibe was, if you didn't win by 20 points, you lost that game.
Yeah.
That was the vibe of Florida State. Like, we were depressed in the locker room, and we'll go out and beat an Ole Miss team at Auburn, and we're freaking helmets in the air. We're going crazy about it. Like, a win was a win in Auburn. You know what I'm saying? Versus at Florida State, like, we're down in the dumps by winning by 14. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Down in the dumps. We won by a field goal. We lost the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was just a different culture, and I enjoyed every minute of it,
Do you think that maybe is because, like, Florida State, the time you were there, you guys were the top dogs really in the ACC. And then when you hit SEC, maybe I'm just speaking as an outsider. It looks a lot harder to win games when you're in the SEC than when you're in the ACC. Do you think that was part of the reason?
I think so because I'm not knocking the ACC whatsoever.
Absolutely.
As far as a conference, like it's a tough conference to play in, but you do have your drastic cut drop offs with certain schools. Like when I was playing, Wake Forest was a drastic drop off for us,
Yeah.
or like just in like just different schools. Just was like you knew like we can mess around and still come out with a win, on the back end,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But at like Auburn and SEC, like Mississippi State might have lost 10 games. But
Yeah,
they finna play you like it's the BCS championship. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody was huge, everybody was big, everybody is strong, everybody is fast, everybody know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And like ACC, sometimes you might get a guy, you know what I'm saying? Like you just dominate this guy all game because like, you know what I'm saying? You're just that much stronger than him. You're just that much faster than him. You can really dominate. And in SEC, everybody was like at that peak. Everybody was pro ready. Literally everybody. Like my practice at Florida State, I have weeks I'll just be dominant and might get beat from time to time. Auburn, every day was a battle. Every day. Like you got Derek Brown on the side. You know what I'm saying? You got Jeff. You know what I'm saying? You got freaking, I keep thinking Marlon Davis. Like it was just so many just guys. Like, Andrew, just so many guys. Like they will push you there every time. Like you will go home and be like, is this really for me? Like, seriously, like, and like it showed on the field when they went out and competed because they were so used to going against guys that were just like that. You know what I'm saying? So I really feel like if I, not knocking Florida State whatsoever, but if I would have went to Auburn and got that feel initially and been around something like that for 5 years, I don't know where I would be, honestly. So
that was a big thing. I listened to, I believe it was Jack Driscoll. He came out of Auburn into the draft last year, and he spoke on that too. Like pretty much the same thing you just said. He's like, I'm working against Marlon Davidson and Derek Brown every day. He goes, I think he said the same thing, kind of like this, it's going to be a war every time I step on the practice field, not even the game field. Every time I step into practice, it's a war.
The game was like, in the SEC, after going against those guys, the game was like, because you were already playing at that pace.
Yep.
Your body was already ready for that pressure. It was just like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? At Florida State, my freshman year, we had like Timmy Jernigan, we had freaking Eddie Goldman, Mario Evans, those guys. We had those guys. Those were dominant guys, and like from time to time will fluctuate as far as drop-off goes. And then I had Derek Nottie or DeMarcus Walker I would go against from time to time too. Those were good guys. But at Auburn, like everybody was like that. Even the freshmen came in just dominant, So I can see why he was like, I feel like if he would have started like a Pac-12, not knocking them, or a Big Ten, not knocking them, he would have realized he hasn't really competed against anybody. You know what I'm saying? So, because like those guys, they're built different, and you can tell.
And Driscoll, he was from UMass. He played there for a few years, and then like he was a really dominant offensive lineman at UMass. So he's big fish, small pond. Then he gets down here, like, whoa. I'm like, I can't speak for him, but I can imagine that first practice must have been a little bit of a shell shock when you're facing against the guy that went, I believe, 7th overall in the draft.
It was almost like the feeling I had when I was a freshman coming into college. You're a big dog coming out of high school. You're a big kid. You're strong, whatever. And it all starts with camp when y'all are in the weight room and you're used to being in the first group. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm benching maybe like at that time when I first got to Auburn, I was benching like maybe like 385 for 385 pounds for three reps. I'm like at the bottom group, one of the bottom groups. You know what I'm saying? Like at Auburn, I have linebackers stronger than me. You know what I'm saying? I have a few DBs that can outlift me.
That's
at Auburn. You get what I'm saying? I finished like, of course, over time, I got to where they were. And I was like, man, if I had just started here, you get what I'm saying? Like, But like they had no choice but to get you there, or they just weren't going to be on the field. And that's how it was.
Now, are you still putting those numbers up today? Is it
100%. I can't, like I said, I can't stop.
Yeah.
I can't stop. Like today, I was in the gym. I hit 4 or 5 for 5. Just messing around. Just because like.
Yeah, just messing around. 405.
Yeah, well, because I still eat like I play. I still eat like I play. I just can't. I can't start it. I don't know. I can't. I'm still not out of the mindset of like wanting to get stronger. Like,
right.
I just can't stop. Like, I'm going to go do field work in these coming days, just like field work. No game, just field work, because like I enjoyed it so much. So
that's awesome. Now, one thing we actually brushed, I didn't ask you actually when I was talking about Florida State. I didn't realize you were on the Dalvin Cook team also.
Yeah, that was my guy. Yeah,
I'm a diehard Vikings fan, so hearing that,
wow.
He slipped to us, I think, in the second round because a couple injuries, but I couldn't be happier having him. I just wanted to bring that up. That's crazy. I didn't realize you were on that team.
Yeah, Dalvin, man. Dalvin would tell us all the time. Like, he was never a guy that got mad at us, yelled at us as an offensive line. He would just say, "Give me this.
Yep.
Give me this much, and I'll make it happen." And like he meant it. That's all it took for him. Like if I can take a guy, go play side hand strong, ride him out, Dalvin's gonna come smooth off my butt, and you know what I'm saying, get him at least 60 to 80 yards. You know what I'm saying? So he was just a special guy, man. Just definitely a team player, and it's showing throughout his collegiate and his pro career. Like the guy's a team player. He loves football. He loves the game, and he loves working. He loves playing with guys. He liked being around like a solid base of guys, and the Vikings brought that to him. So that was good, man. I'm proud of that, man.
Love that. So right out of Auburn, so you get undrafted out of Auburn. Go undrafted, I should say. You get picked up by the Buffalo Bills. What was that immediately? The 7th round ends. You realize you're undrafted, and then you always hear that like the teams are already on the phone with guys that go undrafted because they're going right back into the pool of guys they couldn't get. So what was that whole experience like that day after the draft ended?
So I can remember like I don't think my family understood the concept of how the draft worked. They thought because I played for these D1 universities, like I was guaranteed to go get drafted, Yep. So I was trying to turn it off every TV, They kept putting it on. They're like, it's on. I'm in the back playing my PlayStation. Like I was like, I know for a fact I'm going to be a call guy. You know what I'm saying? I knew that. So I'm back to playing my PlayStation, and of course you turn it on in the 7th round to see if your name get called, and it doesn't get called. And I want to say, you go through that like I'm a failure mindset initially. And then like maybe like 30 minutes after the Bills call, it's like, we're going to fly you out. Wherever you're at, we're going to fly you out. We'll bring you up here. Like, it's like, finally, thank God I got a chance. Because it's like you work your whole life, pretty much to just get a shot to be part of that 1%. And that's literally what it is. That 1% of collegiate athletes, because it starts from like a group of a million guys trying to play high school football. Then it gets knocked down to maybe like 300. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just so little Power 5 guys. Now you got 1% of freaking NFL guys come from that, and you just want to be a part of that. So initially, like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. A lot of tears, a lot of crying, because a lot of praying. Like, thank you, Jesus, for giving me the opportunity. And I was like very grateful, like just get that shot, So
now, what was the whole camp experience like for you? Like day one, you get in there. What's that all like? Because it's got to be pretty nerve-wracking, I can imagine.
100%. So one thing that shocked me was that I was the biggest guy coming in, and it threw me off. You know what I'm saying? I'm 340. You know what I'm saying? 6'5", 340-pound guy. Or 6'4". I was like measured at 6'4". 340-pound guy, and I was like the biggest guy there. And it was freaking people out. And I was like, what? This is the NFL. What do you mean? Like, it kind of threw me off or whatever. And like, we were learning different drills and things, but it was nothing but Florida State. That's all it was. The Bills ran a pro style offense.
Okay.
So it was nothing. They just had different names. So it was nothing for me to catch on to. And even if I made a mistake, I was just such a big body that like it was hard for people to get around me. You know what I'm saying? But I think what it came down to was just like, and this is not me like saying like as an excuse or whatever. I think it came down to like the coach had his guys. And if you didn't pretty much outshine the guy that was there, like the guy that they thought was like good. Like you didn't like, I was trying to buy a lot. Cause like when I was there, the guy that I was playing against, he was MA like miss assignment after miss assignment. And I was getting it because I was used to the playbook anyway.
Right.
You know, but that was his guy, you know, so it kind of affected like my overall, you know, experience. But I was glad to be there. You know, the Bills, they got a great thing going. They still have a great thing going, beautiful facilities. And like, I was just glad to get that opportunity. You know, it was tough going home, but you know, at the end of the day, I was glad to get the opportunity.
Well, it seems like, I mean, obviously a bummer that because the NFL is ultimately the big goal, especially when you're playing Division I football. But see, you signed with the Jacksonville Sharks. Like, how quick of a turnaround was that from getting cut by the Bills to signing with the Sharks?
Maybe like 2 months.
Okay.
Maybe like 2 months. It was just like 2 months is just like, and this is me being completely transparent. 2 months is depression, you know, because you're in your city and people expect you to be somewhere and you're not there, and they see you at a freaking Walmart. They say, aren't the Bills practicing? I'm like, yeah, they are, you know, but like, it was just like, but so when I got that call, man, I jumped on it. The pay was horrible. I'm not going to knock it. The pay was horrible initially. It was just like, it was football, you know, and I still had it in my heart. And like, even to this day, I still have it, but I got the opportunity to go out there, and it's just like, you know, as far as like people, they have great guys there. But like I said, after playing the SEC, after going to like a, you know, NFL camp, the drop off was drastic. You know what I'm saying, as far as athletic ability. So I dominated, got lineman of the year there. I went on to play for the Boston Brigade, got lineman of the year there. Like, so, you know, at least I had that reassurance that I wasn't a terrible lineman, you know, if I'm getting lineman of the year. But, you know, just at the end of the day, it's just like I said, 1% of guys, you know, make it to the NFL. And I guess it just wasn't my calling.
That's, I mean, it may feel disappointing, but that's still pretty sick. That, I mean, you're winning lineman of the year, two different teams in different leagues. Like, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was. No, it was. Like, you like, like I said, like I you know, I left the tank on empty. You know, I gave my playing years all I had.
Yeah.
You know, I did everything I could to be who I like, to be the best I could be. And like, I don't regret anything. And that's something I never wanted to do. Like, I never wanted to like go into a career and like, you know, I could be stable, be somewhere, whatever. I never want to go into a career thinking like, what if? And now that I know I left the tank empty, I'm good with where I'm at. I'm satisfied with like where I am now.
That's good. I mean, that's the best way I guess you can leave it off, is that you know that you didn't leave anything out there.
100%.
Now, AFL, the Baltimore Brigade, that's in arena football, right?
Yeah.
So I went to an arena game down in Florida, in Orlando. It's pretty electric. The arena football league is, especially you're playing offensive line, you're scoring a lot. Like, arena football is fun. It's a good time, like watching the games and just tons of scoring. I think it's pretty awesome.
It's definitely family friendly. It's like your butthole isn't like this the whole game, like it would be in the NFL. Like, you know, like it's family friendly. Like, you know, it's a smaller group of guys, so like you get to truly bond with the group that you're around, and just like, and it just gives you the opportunity to like necessarily like relax. Like, you're still competing. Don't get it twisted. You're still competing, but it gives you a chance to like get a second shot at playing the game you love. You know, and they're good for that. Like, now, arena football, man, like I enjoyed every moment of playing in arena football. You know, I still got the same butterflies. I'm like, okay, I still got that. You know, so I'm still going against like bigger guys. It's okay, still got that. You know, and I still got guys who love the game around me. You know, so it just made you enjoy it. So,
yeah, that's great. So now you're coaching at Nichols. It's game week for you. Coming up, you get the game Sunday against Western New England. Are you looking forward to that in the first game that you're going to be coaching?
say again?
So it's game week for you versus Western New England. Are you looking forward to coaching in your first game?
100%, man. Like right now, I'm trying to get my group of guys together, try to figure out who's going to be my 5, who's going to be my 6, and who's going to be my 7. And I'm just excited to get the opportunity to like see if I know what I'm doing, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is my coaching really getting through to these guys? And can I like make a big turnaround? Because they apparently, like when I was told, they struggled on the offensive line last season. You know what I'm saying? So as far as like being necessarily like the Achilles heel of the team.
Mhm.
So I want to be the guy that turned it around and like help them become like the strongest group possible. So I'm really excited to see what we do because Western New England, from what I'm told, like they're a dominant team in this league. So I can't wait to like go out there and show out. You know what I'm saying? So
it should be a good game. My producer and I, we're gonna be at the game. We're making a little documentary for Western New England. So I'm definitely looking forward to actually seeing some college football. My season got canned. We're not doing any spring games. So it's definitely a thing to look forward to, watching some college football.
oh look, I've already started going to high school games, man. Like
Yeah.
I've been away too long. You know what I'm saying? I'm out recruiting now, but you got to be around it. You got to be around it, man. Because like, you know, if you're not around it, you feel the withdrawals, man. It's like a drug at this point. Like I have withdrawals if I'm away from it too long. So
No, what are you recruiting? Definitely is a big part of division. Any college level. What are you gonna kind of? I'm not like base your pitch around, but I mean, Division One, they're offering you like big facilities, prime time games. How are you going to be able to pitch Division Three? I mean, because I think what a lot of people don't realize is how competitive Division Three really is.
yeah.
They hear Division Three and it's like, well, why are you going to play there? Like, you're not gonna. A lot of people don't think it's really anything.
Nah, guys are getting recruited by the NFL from Division 3, and of course, like going to Division 1, you don't necessarily like know about that until like draft day. You know what I'm saying? Until draft day, you like, what school did he play for? It's kind of like that, but you know, Division 3, man, like it's like once again, it's still competitive football.
Yeah.
Still a bunch of guys that's hungry. Still, it's like a handful of guys that want to chase the NFL dream, and it's possible because like I look at it almost like the way I recruit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I should be recruiting like this, but like I can't help it but tell guys the truth. Like you should come to Division 3 to refine your tools and get a shot at going D2 or D1. Just to me, that's what I say. Like I'm not trying to hold you back from anything. You know what I'm saying? If you're good enough, and I think you're good enough, and you think you're good enough, let's work hard together, and let's get you to the highest level to where you can be seen on a bigger scale. But like that's not to say like we have running backs and like linebackers and a few receivers who are getting looked at by the Texans. Like, so it's not to say you're out of the loop. You get what I'm saying? But however, like, you know what I'm saying? You play, if you go out there and you play like you want it, you will get found. Like, you know what I'm saying? Last year they had a rugby guy go to the NFL. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if you're a good athlete, you will get found. You know, they will find you. You know what I'm saying? So and that's what I'm preaching to my guys. That's what I preach to recruits. Like, you know, I'm not trying to hold you here. I would love for you to be here all 4 years, but I'm not trying to hold you here. I want to get you to the point where like you can go compete with the best. You know, so
You want
that's my cute thing. 100%. And the facilities, to me, you would not think these D3 facilities would look like that, but like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? They're actually great facilities, you know. So like, how can you knock that? You're getting something that you will never get at a JUCO. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't look D3 at Nichols at all, to be honest with you. So
you
have to take a visit there.
The weight room overlooking the field is a pretty nice style.
That's what I'm saying. So it shocked me. Because I essentially went on a recruiting visit when they were offering me the job, and I was like, yeah, this is it. I can bring guys here. Like, all I got to do is come and experience what I experienced. They're going to want to come here. So,
yeah. Coach, I appreciate you coming on. One question before I let you go. We always ask if we have an athlete or a coach on, what their pregame ritual was when they played or is, and 3 songs. Like, you've got time left for just 3 songs to listen to. What are you throwing on?
Oh man. Okay. So my 3 top songs, I'm trying to remember. You got Zone by The Weeknd. That's like this it's like gets me in the mindset. And then like as the game is getting closer, I listen to Hustle and Ambition by Jeezy, Young Jeezy.
Yep.
And I also listen to, what's my 3rd song? You know, I don't know. Lately, I've been on a Rod Wave kick lately.
Okay.
You know, I've been on a Rod Wave kick, but I want to say my third song would be 3-Peat by Lil Wayne. Those are my top 3 songs. So start off with Zone, then Hustle and Ambition, then I finish off with 3-Peat. You know, so.
Did you have any like weird pregame routines that you either maybe like developed in college or brought with you from high school? Like something you might eat or something, the way you put on your gear? Like how do you, anything at all?
You know, honestly, and it might sound cliche, but like I would pray at least 3 times, man. Like pray for not like initially the first prayer be selfish prayer. Let me go out there and give it all, give him my all. The second prayer would be for my teammates and make sure nobody get injured and like me as well don't get injured. And my third prayer right before the game, I prayed that like I want to go out there and like dominate a guy, but I pray that nobody leaves the field with an injury because like that ultimately affects your career. Like so, I always say like I know he's my enemy right now, but he's gonna be my friend later. So I pray that he's healthy. Everybody leaves to feel safe and sound. Like no bad blood with nobody. And like that's always my prayer. And then I go out there and I compete and I like I do my thing. So
I like that a lot. Coach Wilson Bell, thank you for coming on. Good luck this weekend against Western New England. Looking forward to watching some college football.
thanks, man. You take care.
Have a good one, Coach.
I know.